One time I went down to Jamaica to a place called